the thing about systemic racism.
Because you're actually someone who's actually making a difference by getting into law enforcement and stuff. Because I feel like the way I see it is we can complain and talk about police brutality and stuff like that, talk about what's going on and why there's not enough representation and all this stuff, or we can get involved and start making an actual difference.
That's there, bro. The mindset is you are a victim in that sense, right? That does not mean though you can't get out of that. And I think in order for you to get out of that place, you can't wait for someone to rescue you. You can't wait for the white folks to say, hey, there's no racism, we're gonna give everything back to you. It's never gonna fucking happen. You have to get out of that place yourself. And even if they were going to do that, you have to take the opportunity to take that. Right? The thing about systemic racism.
Wait, if you're looking to get jacked this year and you don't really know how and need help doing that, make sure you hit that link in the description. I'm the guy for that. Especially if you're someone who's lazy and you're not really trying to go to the gym, I got you. We can make a plan that doesn't involve the gym. We could create at-home workout programs, or even outside in a park workout programs. I can create a program for you that fits your needs and goals. So hit that link in the description if you're serious and you're looking to make those results. Hit that in the description.
Because you're black, you have less of an opportunity. That's why you have to try harder and stuff. And they kind of push that. And yeah, you might have a disadvantage because racism, and you might, what I mean? I just feel when they focus too much on systemic racism and too much on the limit, if they keep fighting for the limitations for the black community, and I think pushing that to the younger generations is not really good, because it kind of affects the self-confidence. At least in my experience, I feel like it definitely.
Yeah. Me personally, I think that, definitely what you're taught can be. I'm not really, again, big on victimization.
Yeah.
But these are things that we struggle with.
Yeah.
Right? And when you have that narrative in, and it gets pushed on you, it's kind of hard not to victimize yourself.
Yeah.
And be okay, well, this is a problem, and is it because of this? You're going to think that's the problem. Right? Even if it's not, but because it's happened for a long period of time, it's hard not to victimize yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the issues with the black community and stuff, just the whole victimization. I noticed it a lot. Actually, when I did a podcast, right? I did a podcast last February, Black History Month, and it was actually crazy. I actually got I got those people who were supporting, but I actually got a lot of hate too from it, from just people in the comments were it was I'm trying to lift you guys. I'm trying to say yo, we weren't always like this. I'm trying to say you can be anything you want. It doesn't matter about the color of your skin. These guys are F you. You're delusional. You don't understand the black struggle. This is probably coming from someone who lives in this part of the world.
Shut up.
Literally, that was me. I was yo. I'm trying to lift you guys up, and they're saying, fuck you, man. Why are you trying to make me feel the whole experience, it boggled my mind. I'm trying to uplift people, but I'm getting hate for it. It's crazy.
I think there's a way for sure, you can approach it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. If you are, let's say you are born in a very shitty part of the world that's been affected by police brutality, or it has a history of hey, this is where you were supposed to be and you can't grow. That's there, bro. The mindset is you are a victim in that sense, right? That does not mean though you can't get out of that. And I think in order for you to get out of that place, you can't wait for someone to rescue you. You can't wait for the white folks to say, hey, there's no racism, we're gonna give everything back to you. It's never gonna fucking happen, dude. You have to get out of that place yourself. And even if they were going to do that, you have to take the opportunity to take that. Right? For example, the movie is Boys in the Hood. Have you seen that movie?
Seen Sherlock content, but not Boys in the Hood, no. I gotta watch
Right.
it.
Well, look at like the movie Boys in the Hood. You got Ricky, who ended up dying. He got shot, and then but he was getting himself out of there. He was going to college. He was history. He was like, no, I don't want to stay in this place. And that was like, that neighborhood it's a tough neighborhood, and we know the history of how, like the government would, keep black people in a certain place and put in drugs, put in alcohol.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like the reserves in Canada.
Yeah.
Right? So, but he was getting his way out of that. And in the end, though, it wasn't like the white man who shot him. It was our own. Right? You see what I'm saying?
Crab in the barrel kind of.
Right? And that's kind of where I think we're stuck, where we say, hey, the white man did this to us and the white man did that. But at the end of the day, we also have to take initiatives ourselves. And I think that is probably the best way for us to get out of a certain situation is to kind of build each other up, right? And create something for ourselves instead of waiting to be rescued. And that's why I don't think that whole victimization thing is not going to work. And yes, we have to also be given the opportunity to do that. And there is privilege and stuff, but we also have to take initiatives and fix ourselves, learn our history, travel, get educated, teach each other, build each other, not be like, you're white.
Yeah.
Or like, you don't do this thing, then you are not one of us if you don't think this way. It's like, it's so bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's ignorance. It's no different than the people who put us there.
Yeah.
So like,
it's like we're like fighting against it. It's like it's weird. I hate to say it, the whole black community sometimes I'm like, it's like that meme where it's like black people. You ever seen that meme?
It's like that meme where it's just like black people. Like I've seen it where it's just like folks, like black folks.
No, it was like where it's like, I'll have to send you a video where where it's like, it's hard to explain. I'll have to send you, I'll show you a video after the podcast. But it's one of those things where it's like, the black community, we just bring each other down sometimes, and it's just like, it's just we don't know our history, and then we do things like victimize ourselves. And it kind of brings me to the next topic I want to touch on when it comes to like, because you're actually someone who's actually making a difference by like, getting into law enforcement and stuff, because I feel like the way I see it is like, we can complain and talk about like police brutality and stuff like that, talk about what's going on and why there's not enough representation and all this stuff, or we can get involved and start making an actual difference. Like, for example, there's like maybe a young black kid on the street and he sees you in the uniform, you know what I mean? He's gonna think, okay, maybe it's possible for me too. You know what I mean? Like, it's the start of like actually making a change and changing the image, right? Instead of saying like, ACAB, screw all cops, all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I actually respect what you're doing, honestly. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's really important.
Yeah, like, again, man, like, I'm not gonna say that police brutality isn't a thing. It's definitely a thing, and there's definitely racism in any sort of field, right? Not even just policing, and it could be racism in any sort of career. When it comes to that, though, working in that field, and honestly, I would say I started experiencing the most racism when I started working in law enforcement.
Really?
Yeah. And that's, like, I'm a black dude wearing the uniform, man. Right? So I do experience times where I get, other people who I deal with, the first thing they're going to call me is the N-word.
Oh, wow.
Right? Dude, that's normal to me.
Oh, that's normal to me.
That's like the first thing they go to. It's like, you're gonna arrest me? You're an N-word, and it's like, wow, good job, bro. Okay, one though that stood out to me though was third worlder. I've never heard that in my life. One guy called me a straight third worlder, bro. I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa, bro. It was like hunting this guy down, and like even the other like white officers were like, whoa.
That's like,
I was like, what? Where do you come from? Where did you? That's creative. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I expected, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of see both worlds. I get, other people are like, "Oh man, you're a traitor. You should not be in that uniform." And then I get people who I deal with where they're like, you know what? I don't have to listen to this black man. You should not have this power. You're an N-word.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see both ways. And I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where I'm like, am I just here for the diversity? Am I just the diverse hire?
Right.
Which I think is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should be selected for their skill set.
Right.
I'm not saying though that we should have diversity in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's also very important. But if you're going to do that, make sure they have the skill set to work in that field, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how I see it, right? If you are going to hire someone, right? Or for example, are you going to have a Chihuahua work as a police dog?
No.
Right? Or are you going to have like a Border Collie do that? No. You're going to have a German Shepherd. Are you going to have a Rottweiler as a police dog? No. Are you going to have a wolf? No. The reason why they choose a German Shepherd is because one, people, they're smart, they love to please people, and when some stuff happens, bro, they're ready to throw down.
Right.
You're not going to have a wolf as a police dog because they're too wild and probably hurt someone.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to please them, they're wild. You're not going to have a Chihuahua because they don't have that there.
Yeah.
So there's job requirements and qualifications for a reason. And I think that should not be based off just skin color. What you can do is you can open the door and give people the opportunity to do that. No. Those who do have those qualifications, who happen to maybe be black, they should be able to have the opportunity to, get into the field they want to be. But you should hire that person just off of that.
Yeah. No.
Right?
No, I definitely agree with that, with the whole diverse hire. And the whole thing about they shouldn't be diverse hiring. And I feel like, even Martin Luther said it himself. His dream was that people would get jobs based on merit, nothing to do with the color of their skin, right? And I feel like, and going back to what you said about people saying you're a traitor, all this other stuff. I feel like, if we want to see change for the black community, we got to start making something of ourselves. We got to start stepping up and be like, you know what, I'm going to apply and be a police officer. Maybe, it doesn't even have to be a police officer, just somewhere where you see, there is an issue or something, just putting yourself, because they always talk about systemic racism, this, that, but, I feel like the answer is just to join the system and, make move your way up to a point where you have enough power to make the decision to make the change.
I think there definitely is.
It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but
yeah,
we have to try,
Yeah, and here's the thing about systemic racism. Even if we were to do that, the problem is...
Like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. Right now. I don't know what you're waiting for.